Thank you very much, Victor. How you said the stats. Now we've been doing this a long time, Drew, and I know you're the perfectionist, which makes you the player that you are. But 31 to 35, 325 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I know you're going to find something, but that's a good night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good night when you can win like we did. We needed a win like that. I think it was all about, fighting through adversity this week. In so many ways. The tough loss, the injury to Sean. Everybody just kind of getting, shaken up a little bit as far as just, taking over certain responsibilities. And I can't say enough about our assistant coaches and our entire team for putting together a victory like that. In so many ways, it was all about perfect execution and just kind of working together as a team. Defense feeding off the offense and vice versa, turning a couple turnovers into points. Just execution and it was a great night in a lot of ways. Obviously, we're proud of the win, but there's always mistakes. Maybe fewer tonight than in the past, but still things we got to correct and move on.
That's what makes him an All-Pro. Now, Lee Torrance chipped in with the pick six, but you put 62 points on the board. When's the last time you were involved in a game with 62 points?
I don't know. It's been a while. I don't think you ever expect to score that many points, especially in an NFL game. And to be honest with you, I didn't look up at the scoreboard hardly at all. Just for the 2-minute drive to see how much time was left, and then when I got pulled out of the game at the end of the third quarter and let Chase go in there and get some work. So the rest of the time, honestly, for me was just it was all about operating, and we're going to score as many points as we can. We're going to be as efficient as we can, running the ball, throwing the ball, converting third downs, being great in the red zone. I think we improved in a lot of ways in those places, but you talk about being a perfectionist. We were 7 of 8 in the red zone, which is good improvement, but we should have been 8 and 8.
Oh, come on.
Should have been 8 of 8. So, that one will bug me for tonight, but I'll let it go pretty quickly.
All right, now the game ball to Pete Carmichael. You knew Sean Payton was going to be upstairs. Last week was, an unpredictable scenario. How strange was it having Sean Payton up there?
You know what? I think we just mentally prepared ourselves for that's the way it's going to be. Sean's not the person I'm seeing on the sidelines, Pete Carmichael. And listen, the communication is always great between Sean, between Pete, between Aaron Cromer, between everyone, Joe Lombardi, you name it. Everybody's in the headset, everybody giving their input. But Pete called the plays and did a phenomenal job. Obviously, you see the results, but just as far as the flow and the confidence that he gave me and gave our offense, just that hey, listen, everything we're calling, it's going to work. It's the right look, and he just did a great job.
Now, Peyton Manning's not on the football field, but you're not playing against Peyton Manning. You're playing against a Colts defense that you beat in the Super Bowl a few years back. What was the difference in this Colts defense now compared to when you met him in the Super Bowl?
They've always been, I think, a pretty simple defense just as far as scheme. They don't play a lot of coverages, but what they do very well. They typically don't give up many big plays. They really rush the passer well. I thought we had a great plan coming into this game with protection, taking care of those 2 defensive ends, running the ball, which we obviously did a phenomenal job of. And here's the thing, when you can run the ball like that, it sets up so many other things in the pass game and everything else. We were able to make some big plays, which typically, in that structure of a defense, you're not going to have the opportunities to make many big plays. But we had some guys break some tackles and just, whatever it was by scheme, we were able to get the ball down the field. And, that was another reason why we were able to score that many points.
You weren't looking at the scoreboard, but having this kind of night, using all the weapons in this offense, what can this game do for this team down the road now?
Here's the thing, we've told on ourselves. We've set the standard. Now, obviously, we're not going to go out and score 62 points every week. Sometimes you just don't get that many opportunities. But I think it tells us how good we can be. It shows us, the type of team we have to overcome what happened last week, then to put together a performance like this on Sunday Night Football, America watching. Hey, we're 5-2, still have so much of the season yet to be played. We're not even at the halfway point. But listen, we're a confident group, a group that knows how good we can be. We're not there yet, but how good we can be, and just the opportunities that we're going to have in front of us. And we can be as good as we want to be. But it's 1 week at a time in this league, especially when you go on the road, and we just got to keep grinding.
Finally, Drew, a big weekend in Louisiana. LSU beats up Auburn. You beat up the Colts, and to pay homage to your college brethren, LSU, you wore the purple jacket tonight, huh?
I did. I watched some of that game yesterday, and obviously that was a huge win for them, against a tough Auburn team. And so I thought, I want to get some of that positive energy, some of that good mojo. So Appreciate that, LSU. Wore the purple velvet jacket in y'all's honor, and look what it did.
Maybe you should just take this to the dry cleaner every week, wear it the rest of the year. What do you think?
No, it's a one-time thing.
Oh, yeah?
You know, yeah. There's not many repeats. You know, I don't know. At some point down the road, but you got to keep switching them up.
All right, appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, Mike.
All right, Drew Brees, what can you say? Another big game, and he's going to find something with his game to improve on. That's what makes him Drew Brees. But a big win for the Saints tonight, guys. Everybody on offense seemingly touched the football and did something with it in the defense, forcing turnovers. Kind of reminds you of that football team a few years back, doesn't it? That's a story here in the Mercedes-Benz Super Bowl, back to Superdome, Super Game. Back to you guys.